Hi there, my name is Richard. I'm a Rudra Veena student, and today I want to make this video to discuss picking out your Rudra Veena, what style and how that you should go about choosing what style or what kind of Rudra Veena to purchase. Because unfortunately, these are not instruments one can just go to any music store and test out and see what they prefer to play. This is an instrument that generally most people will not get to play until they actually own an instrument. That was what it was like for myself. I had discovered this music, fell deeply in love with it, and then I actually started to contact instrument makers um, to try and have one made. Coming to find out that that's not generally the course of action that one should take when deciding that they want to learn this instrument. It will always be recommended that you find a guru or a teacher to guide you where you need to go with this instrument. As I said, I had started talking to instrument makers originally, and I was going to have a teak wood traditional Vina made, completely different than what I have here. Aside from probably the carvings, I've always wanted simple palm carvings, but those are the smaller things that the musician can decide. The main thing that is going to be important once you find your guru and have decided on what style of music you're going to learn to play. Different styles suit different vinas far better. Uh, Khanderbani tends to be more traditionally played on a traditional Rudra Veena, whereas Dagar is usually played on a Dagar style Veena. And that is just because the different instruments will give different tones and aspects to what the person is looking for. The main thing to decide first is what style you're going to learn to play. Again, when I first started looking, I didn't even understand that concept. I just thought I could start learning on a traditional Veena and then move to a Dagar Veena, not really understanding that there's not just differences in the instrument, but also in the way that they're played and the styles that they're played with. Um, my guru Madhavanti Paul was the one who helped me come to this Veena that I have before me, helping me decide on every aspect of it, and every aspect of it working towards the way that I'm trying to learn to play. I'm learning in the traditional Vishnupur Gharana style, and this Veena seems to be most suited for my style of playing within that Gharana. That being said, that won't be the same for everyone. So these are things that should be considered before purchasing a Veena or starting to contact instrument makers. Because you have traditional Veena, you have Dagar style Veena, you have modifications that you can add to that to add or subtract. I've seen traditional Veenas with 8 strings. I've seen Dagar Veenas with 7. It's just a matter of what is preferable to the artist. A lot of people will say that there's a very specific way that a Veena needs to be made. There aren't many hard and fast rules on it unless you choose to apply them to yourself, which can end up limiting your instrument, again, depending on what you were trying to do with it. If one finds, say, an antique Veena, that may not be the best for them either. Again, the Veena must be made according to each musician's Rudra. The Rudra being the distance from the end of the hand to the tip of the thumb. And if you get a Veena with a smaller Rudra, then you won't be able to hold the instrument. If you get one with a bigger Rudra, the instrument won't be able to sit on you. And you also need to decide which style of playing is going to suit your actual body as well. With the Dagar style Veena, it's played on the knee like this in a almost sort of Swati Veena playing position. However, traditional Rudra Veena would be played in Vajrasana, which is where the backside sits on the heels, and you would play the Veena on your shoulder like this with the bottom board on the side of you. And it is a completely different way and style of playing. It requires a different set of techniques. So these are things that must be considered before playing. So my recommendation would be to listen to as much Veena music as you can. Listen to Asad Ali Khan, Dabir Khan, Z.M. Dagar, Bahadur Dagar, Madhavanti Paul, of course, Jyoti Hegre. Heck, she played a a bamboo traditional Veena for a long time that didn't even have the Laraj string on it. So it's a matter of finding your teacher, seeing what they recommend for you, because they will customize what is needed for that individual student. That is what their job is as the guru. And if you're serious about this music, it is it's worth the expense, it's worth the trouble, it's worth everything that goes into trying to get one of these made. To have mine made, it took 10 months. I had to take vocal lessons for 10 months without a Veena. I've never played one. I had never played an Indian instrument before in my life. I had only been playing actual music for a few years, maybe even only a couple of years before I had got onto this instrument. And I can tell you there's a pretty big learning curve. So it's really something that you have to feel very passionately for and truly commit yourself to if you would like to seriously learn this instrument. And again, it not only is it going to be a lot of work to have these made, but they do tend to be costly. Costs can range anywhere between $500 to $3,000, depending on what style, what kind of Veena you're getting, and who you're getting it from. There are different makers that cost more. Some makers in more populous areas will charge more than others in less populous areas. And every maker has their own style, and every guru will have their preference. So it is highly recommended that you have someone to guide you, and then that you keep all these things in mind as you're going through with it. This is not an instrument to just be bought and set with a collection. That would be disrespectful, I believe, to this instrument, to just buy one to have it. It should be played, it should be studied, and it should be performed as well. So if you have the interest in this instrument, please contact a teacher. Heck, even Madhavanti Paul, my guru, is readily available to be contacted. You can always see if lessons are available. There are a number of teachers out there who you can contact if you search hard enough. I actually recommend checking Facebook. There's a lot of active people in the Drupal community on Facebook, a number of them willing to teach. But again, keeping in mind, every teacher will offer something different. And they will may not teach the same style or on the same instrument. So listen to as much music as you can, find what you like, and try and push yourself in that direction. But also keeping in mind that it can't be forced. This instrument comes to you if if you it's a little on the mythology side, but if you are worthy of this instrument, it will come to you. I've seen it myself where while my instrument was being made, there were a number of other instruments being made for other Veena students, and not every one of them made it to their respective player. Some just could not handle it, for example. Some decided they didn't want to learn this instrument. Some were pushed away by their family. There's a lot of negative connotations with this instrument. There's a lot of mythology with it, where people think it may bring curses if you don't treat it with the correct respect, which again could be true to an extent. As I said, I have seen these instruments go or go away from the people they were meant to be with, meant to go to. So if this is something you're interested in or want to learn, I recommend going for it, checking it out, seeing what you can do. It's a vast ocean of what can be learned with and from this instrument. But I highly recommend trying to find a guide first. I've made a video on finding a guru to help anyone who needs a baseline of what to be looking for. Please check that out. But otherwise, I hope this video will stand as a bit of a baseline of things to consider when you decide that you want to have one of these instruments made, that you are going to play the Veena, and that you're going to learn it. But you want to consider these before you dive in and have the instrument made for you. But I hope this has been helpful. If anyone has any questions or anything like that, please feel free to contact me. Questions in the comments are always welcome. And I hope everyone has a great day. I hope, or evening, and everyone takes it easy and stays chill. Peace.